Hello, I got a request the other day. Somebody working on an Infiniti M45 engine wanting to know how to source the bolts that would hold the engine on an engine stand. So this is the Nissan VK45DE engine, and usually the transmission is here on the back side of the engine, and then the transmission bell housing is bolted onto the back of the engine, the block, and down here you usually have an oil pan. As you can see, mine's missing. What can I say? I'm a hustler. What you usually have are 10 bolts in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the oil pan has 4. They're a little smaller than these. Don't get twisted, because this is the center of the engine. I have it twisted a little bit, tilted a little bit, so whenever I usually hold it on an engine stand, I usually go for the top bolts, skip one down here. Top bolt, skip one, bolt it here. I try my best to not use the oil pan because, one, you might need to remove it, and number two, it might break. Let me show you what that looks like. So you have two types of bolts that go on there. The smaller ones go to the oil pan. The larger ones go to the engine block. And these, I believe, are 17s and 14s, I think. Doesn't really matter at this point, but let me get the bigger one. I want to show you what this one looks like. So this one right here, these are the ones that go through the engine, through the transmission bell housing, and then the thread in here. And you have 6 of these. So when I started working on these engines, I went through the same problems you're going through, trying to source these. And first thing is that I needed to know the thread, and the thread, I believe it's 14 fine. Let's go for it. This is one of my best investments, by the way. I bought it from Fastenal, or Fastenal, as I've heard. So there you go, 14 fine. Trust me, it works. Metric. And when I was buying it, I needed to make the best case scenario. So I think what I did is that because of the engine stand design that I had, this one right here, I needed a bolt that was long enough to clear this part with a shank, but still have enough depth to go in there and thread and hold in there, because you'll be doing a lot of work. So I believe what it looks like is something like this. And I have a washer because maybe I've got a little bit too much thread going on. I believe I just guessed. So what I'm gonna do is remove one of these. And I believe what happened is that I was located in Iowa at the time. I asked our guy, the guys that used to supply my company with bolts, with fasteners in general, and asked him to, I gave him the thread, gave him dimensions, and he sourced something for me. And I told him what the shank needed to be because it needed to go in here, right? So it's pretty much, dimension-wise, it's just like the standard bolt. And the ones he gave me are, this one's got a 22mm head. And I could do this for you all day, but a lot of shortcuts. Got a nut buster. Not working with me, so okay, good deal. That's it, it's already out. This thing does not play. This is it. This is what I bought, and as I said, whenever I have it all the way bottomed out, I still have a little bit of thread hanging out, and I believe that's the reason I have those thick washers. Not only that, so that I wouldn't have like the this narrow point imprint on the belt, on the block. But let me thread it in, see how far it goes comfortably. Oh, not bad. See, so I've got what, like 3? Okay, take it out. I'm trying to do this without forcing it in. Okay. I could go thread the other one in, or I could just look at this right here and tell you that, yep, a little too much thread going on with this one. I can't remember the justification. I don't know why I bought it like this. Maybe this is all they had, but as you can see, it's a little excessive. So if you were to buy, if I were to recommend anything for you, I'd say, being metric, they sell in metric, so it's going to be in millimeters. This one right here is about the standard one, or you could just take your own, your own bolt once you remove one of them, right? And it's going to be about, this is 30 millimeters, right? With regards to thread depth. And then you could make it a little longer if you want to, maybe 35. This one here is like 40, and that's 4 centimeters. Actually seems a little more than that. Yep, it's right at 40. So maybe 30, 35 is what I'd recommend. And with regards to length, total length, it all depends on the kind of engine stand you have. Because mine here, this depth, this one was set by this, So yeah, I do have a little bit of thread that usually remains hanging out inside the tube right here. And then the engagement isn't too bad. So it does not bottom out. I'm going to say, I think it does not. Yeah, it does not, because we only have like 3 threads left, and right now it's looking like, yeah, like 7, 8. So this part might vary for you depending on the design of engine stand you have. I'll just say order this length in total, whatever you want it from here to here, plus 30 millimeters, 3 centimeters. That's my recommendation. You don't want to make it too long, because if you make it too long, now you have to kind of make up for this depth. You don't want, you have it bottomed out, and then you're trying to figure out how to support this depth. Usually you want the shear not on your threads, you want it on the flat shank. So I think just add this length of your tube plus 30 millimeters and you should be safe, okay? That's my advice. And another thing is that make sure you use the original one here with regards to, I think whenever you give them the depth right here, you give them the thread, they should give you a shank that's nice enough, but make sure you don't get something that necks down or steps up on the shank. You want it to be pretty much the same diameter around all through. The reason I say that is this. I think some GM motors usually use an engine stand like this. So this is a nice looking tube and all that, but goes in through one way, right? But on the back side, this bolt does not go through at all. Guess you could try to thread it, but it's not, it just doesn't look safe. So it's something I'd try to at least make sure you look at. And by the way, this looks really thin here. I'm glad I'm not using that. The engine stand brackets over there, those adapters actually were on this engine stand, but I changed from using it because, whoa. This one right here is a 3-legger, while this one here has 4 legs, 4 wheels, 4 casters, as you can see. So I removed that adapter and put it here. I hope this video helps you with regards to how do you safely hold your engine on an engine stand. I know there are a lot of people who've done these projects over the years. Not too many people have asked about it. I know it. I don't know how they're doing it. Maybe they're just doing it on the engine hoist. Maybe because I've done some work on the engine hoist. Or maybe they have sources of these bolts. For me, it took a while. I think it took like 3 weeks for them to get them to me. I don't know why it took that long, but If I do find a part number, I will post it and let you know, but it's been a while. Oh, wait a minute. JDF 10.9. Oh, yeah. I think I did need to kind of work on the hardness as well. But these have been good. The length is good and all that, so I've not had anything bend on me at all. So there's your grade. JDF, huh? Hope that helps, right? I sure hope it does. So for me, since everything else is secure, just gonna go ahead and... Actually, I'll see if I can thread this by hand. See how far it goes. This is usually one of the trickiest parts. If you start inserting this at a weird angle, you'll go, because this is, you know, steel versus aluminum, and then you get to a point the cross threading just would not allow you to go any further. So it can get a little funky. You know what? I'm pulling this out for no other reason other than it's gonna sound vain, but the main reason I'm doing this is so that I can take a picture to use as a thumbnail. Gotta make stuff creative, you know? So there you go. I'm taking one right now. Perfect. So as best practice, I usually just start by hand. I could get the power tool for now to send it in, but I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to just crank it this way. And obviously, depending on the head you get, you might need a different tool rather than the 22 that I'm using. But as I said, if I do end up finding the source, I just talked to the guys at Fastenal and they made it happen. But if I find the part number and all the stuff I bought it with, I will be sure to share with you. No one else has ever asked for it. And did I mention? Yeah, I think the first engine I did was in 2014 or 15. It was the first M45 engine I did. It's a pretty long time ago. There you go. And I still have a little bit of depth, you know. I'm not bottoming out. So I hope this does help you, my man. And I wish you all the best with your project. I hope it goes well for you. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to talk to me. I'm losing count. I think we're probably at like number 50 with regards to these engine projects. So I think if anything were to happen, I've probably seen it by now. So, all right, all the best, man. Talk to you.